Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly reading. And I am here in Amherstburg, Ontario, back in Canada. So I have been traveling quite a bit over the last year, and it has been really a profound transformation and initiation. And I know so many of us are going through this portal of expansion right now. It really has been quite a year for the acceleration of our growth and coming into our gifts and our abilities in ways that we never have before. Our intuitive capacity has been heightened. The telepathy and the communication that is happening both with those on the planet and those on the other side, those in spirit form, that is all being stronger and more amplified in our life, like becoming to the forefront where we're able to really communicate in ways that were somewhat, let's say, shut down before, and now we are really coming into the remembrance of all of these abilities that we have, coming to our original form, to our true nature, to our infinite potential of really tapping in multidimensionally and also through all timelines. So there is this aspect where we might be seeing into multiple timelines, both from our past and into potential futures, and everything is able to merge into one timeline here and now, so that we are really integrating all the aspects of self within, all aspects of higher self within the self. So anyways, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carolyn Marie Yakopich, and I am a spiritual business mentor and a sacred feminine leader. And I work with a lot of women in leadership roles, who have conscious led businesses, and who are here to help be a change agent, to be a way shower for the new earth. We are here as pillars of light, pillars to create this foundation of this new reality, this new realm that is the true earth, the new earth, right? This is what we call it. However, it's really going back to the original template of being connected into divinity, to royalty, to abundance, to really knowing who we are at a core level in our soul, in our heart, and really being tapped in to source energy in this co-creation process. So today I'd like to pick some cards. I came back onto YouTube about, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and I started out with this big excitement that I'm back, and I thought that I would be coming back every week, doing my weekly Wednesday readings that I was doing when I was living back in Glastonbury. And as you may know, if you follow me on socials, I have been in the depths of planning an Egypt pilgrimage, a spiritual pilgrimage in April of 2026 called Sisters of the Nile Mystery School, where it will be an intimate group of women joining me on the Nile and going through initiations in all of the temples and all of the pyramids. The Nile River is a metaphor for the human spine, which is our central channel. It is through this channel that we awaken our full capacity. We have many more chakras in our body and also outside of the body than the seven that are talked about most often. However, when we do journey on the Nile and through the temples and pyramids that are along the Nile, these temples and pyramids represent the chakra system. So there is a lot of clearing and encoding and activating that happens when we come into these temples and we do the work that we're going to be doing. So I did get so immersed. I really had the single pointed vision of one project, one thing only, and I really had no time or space to do anything else. Um, it was really interesting journey because I was dealing with three different time zones with the tour company in Egypt, the tour company in Canada, and then my web designer who is from the UK but was traveling through Europe. And so it was really quite a juggling act, and I got through it, and I'm so excited that it's out there. If Egypt is something that, has been a bucket list for you, if you feel that call, if you feel any remembrance, in your heart and soul that there are codes there for you, I will drop the link in the comments section, in the description section of this video, where you can book a connection call with me, and I will share more details about the journey with you. If you know me on socials, you can send me a private DM and just with the word Egypt, and I will send you more details to your inbox. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to share this journey. And my dear Egyptian tour guides and Egyptologists, two women, I'm so fortunate that I've been wanting assistance in my journeys, in these pilgrimages that, I do. I've done mostly in the UK, the ley lines there. And Avalon is very deeply connected to Egypt, and especially with the link of the Holy Family. There are some locations in Egypt that I was blessed enough to go to on this third journey of mine that I had not been to before, where the Holy Family lived after Jesus, Yeshua, was born. So we will be delving and doing some linking work between the 2 points that, Avalon and Egypt, they are really, really linked and connected in that way. Also with the priestesshood and those teachings as well. So I feel like I just got a little off track. And this has been happening a lot lately, where I tell a story within a story. I mean, this has been happening my whole life, I think. But even more so now, sometimes it's like I don't wrap back up to what I was saying, and I'm like, okay, I trust that I didn't have to complete what I was saying there, and I'm going to move on. But yeah, I really did Egyptologists. See, it comes in that quickly. So I'm blessed to have these Egyptologist tour guides who are my assistants, and they are so knowledgeable and so just beautiful and powerful and intuitive women. And when I went on this journey with them this past fall, the codes that were coming in, the memories that were coming in, because they too are my soul sisters. And I felt this like deeply within my being the moment that I met them, the moment I started connecting with them about coming to Egypt. And now I spend time, at the beginning when I first came back from Egypt, I was almost every other day on the phone with them. And now it's like, every couple of days, and it's like we check in all the time. So, what a blessing to have such a deep soul connection with someone all the way in Egypt, and knowing that I get to go there with a group and we are going to be held, like I will be holding space and they also will be holding space with me. So I have this assistance with two women that, I've been dreaming of wanting someone to help me on these journeys. And so now, it is time. The blessings have come. The universe has lined everything up for me to have these women in my life. And I'm just ever so grateful to be able to feel so connected that I can speak to them about anything. It's like we continued from a past life, and as all timelines are the same timeline, right? In one, if we bring them into one and we're in the now moment. But yeah, it just feels like I've known them forever. And so I can't wait for those that are going to join me, because I know that they will feel the same. Because this is how it is. This is how we are finding each other. This is how we are connecting with other starseeds, with other priestesses, with other sisters from other lifetimes that we've been in together, and the power of doing this work on the land is really about delivering our soul frequency, delivering our codes of light, and receiving the codes that we left behind for us in previous lifetimes, because we have done this. This was part of, the mystery school teachings. Not everything could be written in books when we lived in lifetimes past. So we delivered codes and we left energy behind. We left activations behind for ourselves to find in future lifetimes, so that we could fully come online into our full potential, into our infinite nature. So with that being said, I'm going to come into these cards and just pick a few to support us right now. The energies have been really intense, We just had the new moon in Scorpio yesterday at its peak early in the early hours of the morning here in Eastern time. And, this shedding, this rebirth, it's been a process. It's not something that's like a one and done. It's something like Kundalini awakening. It happens again and again and again, and we keep awakening to higher states of consciousness. And so, with this shedding, we're also in the year of the snake in Chinese astrology. So we are going to be moving into the year of the horse in February of next year. So the layers that are happening right now between the Scorpio season just coming to a close, having the new moon in Scorpio, which is still going to be unfolding for us, right? And Scorpio is the death, change, transformation, rebirth energy. So it's kind of like another peak of this energy as we're in the 9 year of completion in numerology, right? So a lot of completions that we're seeing in our life with relationships, sometimes within family, within our love relationships, within friendships. So there's a lot of things coming to a close within our career. Sometimes, what we think we are going to be doing in the world, especially if we're entrepreneurs, gets redirected in a time like this when we're in this year of completion. And sometimes there's a feeling of almost like being lost or not knowing what's next. And that is going to be very common as we continue moving forward, of not knowing what's next, because we are so much in the present moment now. We are so much deconditioning all of the programs that have been, imprinted upon us by society, by our ancestry, you know, all of this, right? It's coming to a space of a purity, and we're purifying the self, right? We're cleansing, we're releasing, and then purifying the self. And as we're opening into this state of presence, there's more and more feelings of being in the unknown and not knowing what's next. However, if we can allow ourselves the space to be relaxed in the unknown, right? To really just accept that if we don't know what's next, we don't need to know what's next yet. And if we can relax in the unknowingness, then the messages come, and they're always coming in the timing that is meant for us. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean to just sit back and wait and wait and wait and not take any action. It's necessary that we move ourselves, we move our body, we move our physical vessel. If there's stagnant energy in our home, in our body, really starting to pay attention to what we want to complete from our past, right? So a 9 year of completion means the past 9 years, it's like a new beginning starting next year. And we're not just in a 1 year next year, we're in a 10 year. And 10 year is our royal courage and our radiance when we're connected into source to create in that one frequency, that one vibration of planting seeds for a new cycle to begin. So, really looking at what it is that you're ready to be completed with, like just closure. What can you close the door on now? It's kind of like the 9 year is a very big eclipse, right? The eclipses are a door closing and a door opening. So we've had this entire year to close the door on this 9 year cycle to really be open to the newness, that freshness of what we're birthing in 2026. So being mindful of this, and maybe there's some space that you can clear. Maybe there's objects holding energy, there's clothes holding energy from the past that you're ready to let go of, and just trusting that the more space you create within your space, the more open you will be to receive the newness that is meant for you at this time, and to really align with that new frequency that you're stepping into, in your life as a leader. And you could be leading, I say this all the time, like leading your household, leading your own life, leading others, right? There's so many ways of leading, and truly it comes down to being an example of the living frequency that we want to see on the planet, So, coming back into the states of love and joy and blissfulness and happiness. And yes, there's going to be struggles along the way. Yes, there will be stress. Yes, there will be, ups and downs. There might be, anger, anxiety, frustration, different emotions coming in that are residue from the past. And it's time to wash those away now. It's time to, and not wash them away and like pretend they're not there. We might need to sit in them for a little bit, let it move through us, as long as we don't get stuck and just sit in it, right? So sometimes the only way through is in it, is to feel it completely. And sometimes it's actually doing something different. It's shifting our attention. It's, you know, working on something or being creative, right? And moving our energy in different ways, and that will naturally transmute the energy. So yeah, let's get into so much to say. And I mean, all the planets in retrograde right now, there is so much happening. So as we come into these cards, I'm just asking that these cards will deliver us the messages in alignment for all the souls that are present on this call, and that they are in the highest frequency and the highest alignment for each individual soul. And just remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. There were a few cards that already fell out of the out of the deck, and the first card that's popped straight, sitting straight up, is Joy of Life. And I just said that about being in joy. It says, trust, open your hands, share, and let go. Oh my God, how beautiful. And there's a phoenix, right, rising. There's also, you can see the chalice, right? This is the chalice. You're waiting to receive these new blessings coming in, and you can see the phoenix is pouring out, right? And, there's water, but this looks a lot like liquid, right? A liquid light, so to speak. So if you can think of letting go, right? You're letting go of all of that past. Open your hands, let it go. And when you let it go from your hands are open to receive something in replace of that, because our life is always in this infinite frequency of giving and receiving, giving and receiving. So maybe you want to donate things to those less fortunate. Maybe you have things you want to sell. Maybe there are things you can just throw away. So knowing that this is the process right now. It's like letting go, and then this is here for you, right? So you're emptying your vessel, you're emptying yourself out, and this golden frequency, this light frequency is just waiting for you, waiting to fill your cup. So this is the other message coming with this, the joy of life. You can do this without a state of overwhelm, because a lot of this happens to me a lot. When I think of all of the things that I want to do, I get overwhelmed. It's like sometimes, and also, if you know me personally, if you've, watched my journey on social, you know that I moved out of my condo in 2024, which is, I feel so crazy because it feels like I've lived multiple lifetimes since 2024. 2.5 weeks after moving out of my condo, putting everything in storage, I went to Glastonbury, to England, to do a journey with women. So we did a pilgrimage. Then I went to France. Then I came back to Glastonbury very briefly and decided I was going to move there. Came back to Canada for a month, packed up a couple of suitcases, and moved to Glastonbury. So my whole life just kind of up and went, right? And then I came back for a little while. I did some traveling, visited my brother in California, was fortunate enough to go to St. Martin in the Caribbean, which we go to every year. And there was a lot of movement. So that's my point, is there's been a lot of movement. Then back to Glastonbury. Then I went to Egypt. So it's like, whether or not you've been traveling or not, we have all been traveling interdimensionally. We've all been traveling in our sleep in ways that we haven't before. So, and even in our waking state, this is happening. We are moving and weaving in and out of timelines at all times. So there are multiple potentials, infinite potentials, and possibilities. And it's like, what's the next step? What's the next aligned step that we can take? So, coming back to this card about joy, is that it's very easy to get overwhelmed when we think of things, especially like, organizing, decluttering, clearing out space. It can really get to be overwhelming on levels where also it's not just about the things, it's about the energy and emotions and the memories that they hold. So it becomes a really big clearing for our physical vessel. Um, it's like there will be a weight lifted once you clear. So do things to support you in this process that will bring you joy. Listen to music that lights you up. Do it in a way where it becomes, for me, making it more of a ritual, like more of a ceremony, even if I'm not really even, it's not like I'm lighting a candle and doing it, but making it more intentional as you're going through your things and less of a kind of heavy burden task. And just know that how much this is going to support you, especially because we're moving out of the year of the snake and into the year of the horse. And the horse is momentum, it is flow, it is moving forward, it is freedom. It's courageous. The heart's magnetic field is so vast, right? And so just think of the freedom and that openness that you will feel in your energy field. And our heart is so related to our magnetic field. When our heart is closed, it contracts. When our heart is open, it expands. And our energy speaks louder than words. Our energy speaks louder than, even our actions. So really, opening is going to be the way forward. And that requires us to release. It really requires us to unburden, unweight ourselves with the things that we are holding on to that no longer serve. And sometimes we don't even hold on to them consciously. It's like, oh, I'll get to that later. I don't have time. There's excuses, whatever. And sometimes, yes, of course, we are busy and we might not have the space and the time. But one thing I learned a long time ago, and I really love this practice, is if you have, let's just say, even 10 minutes, and you're like, oh, I really wish I could just work on the house right now, or I wish I could go into that closet and go through it, but you only have 10 minutes. So take 10 minutes, take one little section or one little section of clothing. And for 5 minutes, you go through that section of clothing. You might take it all out in that little section and choose to keep it, donate it, throw it away, whatever you're choosing to do with it. And then the next 5 minutes, clean up after yourself and put it back so that you don't leave a mess. And then there's more to clutter, clear, and clean after that. So that's a really strong message coming in with this completion, right? We really are meant to be tying up loose ends in this 2025 year. And we have about 5 weeks left, right, of this 9-year cycle. So the next card coming in is Divine Masculine. That is great because we need our masculine energy to support us to take action, right? It is the aligned action. So really being still enough to receive the guidance, be still enough to know, and still doesn't mean even that you have to sit and just be still. You can be doing things and be still, because stillness means there's presence. Stillness means that you are aware, that you're being total and in the moment, right? So cleaning out this vessel is directly related to using your divine masculine energy to take that aligned action to clear your space, to take responsibility for what is necessary for your most expansive year to come in 2026. So this says, rise of true gentle power and true strength. And I love this too. There's a dolphin, actually many dolphins in this card, and there's a heart that is right here in the center. And it's like really talking what I was saying about that magnetic field and how important it is to really come into that space. And sometimes when we close down emotionally in different ways and we're experiencing negative emotions, it feels like a difficult task to find this space of the heart, to come into coherence, to come into expansion, to feel like relaxed in the body. So, first and foremost, when we notice the tension, what can we do to relax? We can focus on our breath. We can take a pause from whatever we're doing. You know, we all have tools in our toolkit. If we're on this journey, we've picked up tools along the way to, recalibrate our energy and come back to our center. And one thing that can be very simple is to breathe into the heart space. And I've been doing this quite a bit for the last year, where I breathe and I inhale from the heart space in all directions. And then I exhale and relax the body. And I do this a few times, and then I start to shift the frequency and the direction of the frequency and the energy that I'm moving through my body, where I inhale and expand in all directions, the inhale, and then I exhale through the skin and out into my magnetic field, and just keep doing that and keep expanding the magnetic field out. Sometimes placing your hands on your heart can be a very easy way to just come back into this space and this remembrance. A saying in Kundalini, I don't even remember where it came from, but it might be what's coming to me now is the soul body, right? It's the number one frequency. We're actually moving into a one frequency, a 10-1 frequency next year, as I bow my head to my heart. And this brings me into my soul. It brings me into the depth of my being, out of the kind of monkey mind and the teeter-tottering of the division and the polarity that happens in the mind when we move from negative to positive, and we start over analyzing and get scattered in our mind, which takes our brain and heart out of coherence. So it's important to come back into the physical body, to settle into the heart space, to clear the emotions, to really get into this space where we can feel again. And when we can feel, we start to deeply resonate into the heart space. So that's a very clear message coming through, is the heart clearing energetic space, clearing physical space to prepare for next year. So what other cards are coming through now to support us? Like, am I going to be able to get to it? My cat is sitting on my lap and it just fell. There's a couple. Nope, just one. Okay. Restore. All right. This is part of it too, restoring. So restore, time out for you, nature, and shamanic signs. This card is so beautiful. So it's a dragon. If you can see there's a woman who is in just like a little fetal position, and the dragon is wrapping around her and protecting her and just helping her to restore her energy. You may be someone who works with dragon energy. Know that the dragons are so strong right now coming in on the earth, and they are really showing themselves, being known, and a lot of us have dragon guardians, and you can use them also to clear energetic space. You can ask them to weave in and out through your home to clear the energy around your home, to protect the home. I do this when I go to sacred sites before a lot of the times when I go to the tour, I will stand at the base at the guardian stone, and I will weave my dragons around that I work with and ask them to clear the space all the way up the tour, all the way down, and then I move forward in this space of being held in this protective energy field. So more and more we're coming into these multidimensional abilities to communicate with our, guardians, our different animal guides that we work with. So right now, though, beyond the clearing aspect, we are being asked to restore our energy. And so also knowing that as we clear, our energy is restored, because we are holding energetic space for every single thing in our life, every object, every relationship, every memory, every idea, every intention, everything we want to do. We're holding space for it all. So think about how we can make it easier for ourselves to move forward into our highest timeline. And a lot of us, it's such again, these big concepts, these big words, into our highest timeline. I love saying it because I feel like we are in it now more than we ever have before. And sometimes we slip out of it. Sometimes we slip out of alignment. Sometimes we get knocked off kilter. Sometimes we get exhausted from the energies and the activations. The solar activity has been off the charts. And sometimes all we can do is wake up and just do the best we can that day with the energy that we have, because we are really processing so much of a higher frequency. And, there are areas in our physical body that we're holding on to things that really are required to be let go of so that we can keep moving in a space of this higher frequency and really anchoring this light within. So know that restoring yourself, your nervous system, taking time out for yourself, taking those sacred pauses, and really bringing love and attention to your home, to your space, to what you're putting in your physical body as well, to be able to be clear enough to move and to be like ready for this energy that is coming next year with the planting seeds. Like, a lot of us have been preparing. This year has been a very big year of preparation. Some of us have gone really within, and that's preparing us to go without next year. So just know that wherever you are at, it's perfectly aligned for where you need to be. If you feel stuck, that's a message for you to know that it's time to do something different as well. Next card coming in, Well of Dreams. Creation, visions, messages, dissolve the veil, bliss, dreams. So this could be a message for those of you that are really remembering your dream state. I know last night I had a really, really profound dream, but it was full of symbolism. Um, and sometimes you might receive like a number in your dream that could relate to the age that you were at that time. There's significance in objects showing up in your dream, the theme of what's happening in your dream. So just really being attentive to that. This is also telling me, this card though, it's like, what are your dreams? What are your dreams of what you want to birth into reality? Because next year is this year. This year has been a foundational year for, preparing. It's really been a preparation. It's been a shedding, a releasing, preparing for all of this so that you can be ready to plant your seeds, or to even, it might not even be this slow process. Like, yes, the one is the beginning, but this could be, you might be ready to go. And it's time to be bringing this into the world. I said this very recently with the new moon in Scorpio. It feels like that energy because Scorpio is the energy of our soul. So our soul's desires, our soul's dreams, our soul's longings, it's time to birth these into reality. It's time to be the architect of our own life. And really, again, of our own life in co-creation with divinity. We are divine, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul, right? So connecting in, being present, being intentional, and really going for it without think of that horse energy coming through, right? We still have a couple of months till we shift into the horse energy. So just keep shedding to prepare and hold your dreams in vision. So every day you may want to even take just a couple of minutes to sit quietly, to say prayer, to meditate, to visualize, feel that future that you see as your highest potential of your dreams that you want to live. And just see, sometimes it helps too to look back at what you were dreaming of 9 years ago or over these last 9 years and recognize, like, wow, I did that. I wanted what I'm living right now. That was a past version of myself visualizing this future. It's happening all the time, right? When we are consciously creating, and it's coming and birthing into reality. So having the gratitude for where we are while we are simultaneously feeling the gratitude for what's to come. Okay. And also, in this it says visions. I already spoke about visions. Being attentive to the messages. So you might be seeing numbers, like I said, in your dreams or in your waking state. All numbers have symbolism. If this is something too that you're called to know more about, I do offer numerology readings, and you have specific numbers that are with you for life. You also have specific numbers that are with you from year to year. So you'll have a specific number, how this year was a universal 9 year. You'll have a personal number vibration as well that you're working with. And that is, kind of setting the stage and the tone for this year in your own transformation and your own growth and evolution. So next year you will be in a new year as well. So I'm going to link that as well, to book a session if that's something that you're interested in, and we can go over anything within, like, the completion of this 2025 year and what you're moving into the 2026 year. Okay, so I feel like there's one more card and then we're going to be closing this space. So one more card, Spirit, to come through for those that are here to support them. Okay. There's two cards that came out together, so I can't deny that. So the first one is breathing. Feel your body, sensations, purity, clarity, and expression. So we've already covered most of this. This woman is free because she's breathing and her heart is clearly open, right? She's open and expanded. The one thing that is on this card that I haven't touched on is expression. So if you are stifling your expression, it is time to express yourself. It is time to open to your authenticity, and not just in the rooms that you're comfortable in. It is time to be authentic through the thread of your entire life, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. And of course, with, it's like, filter yourself. And I don't mean close yourself off. I mean, when you're in certain company, you're not just going to bust out and talk about, the multidimensional realms, the Pleiades, the star system. You might not even talk about meditation, but just be as authentic as you can with each person, meeting them where they're at. I really feel as those of us who are New Earth leaders, it's up to us to really hold that frequency, lead by example, not shut down. And a lot of this expression and what I'm saying about being, your authentic self in every situation is about holding the frequency more than it is about what you're saying, what you're, speaking into. But sometimes, yes, we need to start expressing, because sometimes, sometimes I'm saying sometimes because in the past I did this a lot where I wouldn't speak up. I wouldn't share what I see, what I feel, what I sense. And there's so much value in that other people may not see. And when you allow yourself to express, you're contributing to their growth and to their evolution and to their seeing like a different perspective, them seeing a different perspective. So it really is important that you are expressing yourself, maybe coming out online, making some videos, or if you're not comfortable with the videos yet, making posts with just writing from your heart. This is really needed at this time, so again, it's as I was saying, to just, complete that statement. It's about the frequency you're holding. And when you are in certain company, see if you start to default into old, like a frequency that is like the old version of you. And it's time to clean that up now and stay in your higher frequency. Be in that empowered state where you're holding it, right? And this is what is going to help change the entire world. It's one individual at a time, yet connected into the unity consciousness of the highest good for all. The last card that came out with this one is Nurture. The image really does remind me of, the divine, sacred feminine, a Mother Mary type energy, and the world is at the heart center, and there's a lot of like rose energy coming out. The rose is the frequency of the heart of the universe. So nurture, self-healing, ruby ray. The ruby ray is also going to help you to anchor into the earth, right? And we really can be nurtured now by the earth. So this is a simple way to really come back into feeling grounded, coming back to nature, to remember our physical body is of the earth as well, right? So we come from the earth, we return to the earth. Our spirit obviously comes from multidimensional aspects, right? But also, I didn't even read that last statement. It says birthing the new earth. I mean, this is where we're at right now, family. Soul family, this is where we're at. We're birthing the new earth. We are in it, we are living it, we are breathing it, and just keep going, keep trusting, keep letting go when you're holding on to those old aspects, keep forgiving, keep, you know, resting and relaxing as much as you can into the newness. And the newness is really the origin. It is really coming back to the memory and of our origins and our true nature. And from that space, there is actually newness being created, because that is why we are here on earth right now. We are here to birth an entirely new frequency and dimensional and way of living. So just stay with it. Stay with it, trust, surrender, let go, love, have fun. Have fun along the way. Be playful. It's always the easiest way forward, with a lightheartedness and a playfulness and a joy, as we move forward, especially, giving ourselves some slack when we go through the struggles, because it's very easy to get caught up in feeling hard on ourselves for not having enough energy or for not getting something done on time, and just like start to see the silver lining, start to like be attentive to life's blessings, because they are always here and they are always around and they are always happening through and within us as well. So I'm going to leave this here for now. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And if you like it, it also helps to get the video out here. So I would really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video.